If you're thinking about hiring a personal trainer for weight loss, wait, because there's a really good chance you'll lose the money and not get the result. I've helped people lose fat in person and online, and I've also worked inside gyms long enough to see how this actually works behind the scenes. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the two stages of personal training, what most people think they're buying versus what actually gets you results. Now, if you've ever wondered, should I hire a personal trainer for weight loss? Will it actually work? My honest answer is probably not. And it's not because personal training can't work, but usually finding a good personal trainer inside a commercial gym is a needle in a haystack. From your side, it looks simple. You're looking for help, you want guidance, and you want someone to walk you through this so you don't keep guessing. But what you're actually walking into is a pretty chaotic system. Trainers quit all the time. And you might find yourself being passed around between trainers with a 2-day certification that a monkey can do and trainers who look in shape but have no idea how to coach a normal human being. And the gym itself isn't really built around results. That's the truth. It's built around selling training. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone in there is an evil businessman. It just means that your goal and the gym's goal don't always line up, which is why if you're trying to figure out whether personal training is actually right for you, the most important moment isn't after you sign the contract, it's the free workout. And that's the one place where you can see how a trainer thinks, what they prioritize, and whether they're actually set up to help you get results without paying $1. Now, in the free workout, you're going to have one of 3 experiences. At least this is what I've seen. One of these will actually help you lose fat. The other 2 won't. And the first one is the most common when you're dealing with a dunce. They come in all shapes and sizes, men, women, jacked, not jacked, it doesn't really matter. What makes them a dunce isn't how they look, it's that they don't know how to help you, just plain and simple. They don't ask real questions, they don't clarify your goal, and they don't try to understand your life. And that shows up immediately in the free workout, because the free workout is a preview of the effort you're going to get. And with this trainer, there is no plan, there's no assessment, there's no direction, there's just a bunch of nonsense. And if they can't even find the problem in the free session, they're not gonna magically fix it once you're paying. This was actually my second experience with personal training. I walked into a commercial gym, did the free workout, and got handed off to a trainer who looked the part, big upper body, tight shirt, clearly spent time in the gym. So on the surface, you think, all right, this guy probably knows what he's doing. But then we walked over to the bench and he said something I still remember to this day. As a general man rule, you don't want to bench anything under 135 pounds. So he loaded up the bar, had me unrack it, and it immediately collapsed on my chest. And that was the session. After that, he just tried to sell me supplements. And that's when I realized that this guy was not going to be able to help me. And this is why they're a dunce. This person on the outside may have looked like they knew what they were doing, but they had no idea how to help me. If someone doesn't ask about your goal, your history, or what's actually holding you back, they're not going to coach fat loss. They're just collecting a check. The second experience you'll run into is what I like to call the Punisher. And this one is dangerous because at first it feels right. This was actually my first experience with coaching, and I've also worked with a ton of these guys. And the entire philosophy is simple. You kick your ass hard enough and the fat will melt off. So every session is brutal. You're sweating, you're gasping for air, and you leave thinking, there's no way this is not going to work. And I get why people fall for this. Because when you're new, motivated, and ready for change, the intensity feels like the answer. You think, if I just get my ass kicked every single time, the weight has no choice but to come off. But here's what actually happens. You don't just do that workout once. You gotta do it again and again and again. And it doesn't matter how you're feeling. Life does not pause for fat loss. You got work, kids, stress, bad sleep, travel, weeks where motivation is low, and suddenly throwing up in the gym 3 times a week doesn't feel empowering anymore. It just starts to feel exhausting. And this is why these trainers start getting constant no-shows, because at the end of the day, their clients start to hate the gym because intensity without structure just burns people out. So this trainer can make you suffer, but they can't help you succeed. And then there's a third experience. And this one feels completely different because now you're dealing with the coach. This is someone who actually coaches, and you'll feel the difference immediately because they don't try to impress you with a killer workout or jump into a squat assessment. The first thing they do is say, hey, let's sit down. I want to talk to you. And that's the biggest tell because they listen. This first conversation sets the tone for everything that follows. If someone wants to listen to you on day one, they're going to listen to you for the entire process. They're going to ask real questions like, what have you tried before? Why didn't it work? And what's actually hard for you right now? That's guidance, clarity, and confidence. They're not trying to show you how tough they are or how jacked they look. They're trying to understand you. And that conversation is way more valuable than an intense workout because in that moment, They're doing one thing the other two never did. They're building a plan around your reality, not their ego. And when you work with a real coach, you don't leave destroyed, you leave clear. You already feel like you have the answers. And that's the difference between someone who can make you sweat and someone who actually wants to help you change. I know most people think that personal training is a cash grab, and you'd kind of be right, honestly, because you're usually sold a workout, not a system. And here's the thing, most personal training sessions are 30 minutes once a week. And that's the most common setup because it's what usually most people can afford. But you're not gonna get the best results from 30 minutes once a week. 30 minutes just isn't enough time to do everything that actually needs to happen. So in order to see results, your coach has to set you up to win outside of the session because the workout itself is only a small piece of the puzzle. And that's why I'm gonna show you the 7 steps I put in place so my clients could actually get results. If your trainer's doing these things, you're in good hands. If they're not, it doesn't matter how hard the workouts are, you won't get results. So step 1 is expectation management. This is about knowing what progress is actually going to look like. I had a client once tell me in our very first session that she wanted to look like some Instagram model in 30 days for a cruise. And I told her straight up, that is not going to happen. And I never saw her again. And most people have no idea how this stuff actually works. They don't know what's realistic for their body, their schedule, or their starting point. So part of real coaching is setting expectations early. No hype, no false promises, and it goes both ways. Because some people think that everything takes forever, when in reality, they could see real changes in a couple months. So expectation management is making sure you're aiming at the right target on the right timeline for your life so you don't quit, spiral, or feel like you failed when nothing was ever realistic to begin with. Step 2 is goal clarification. This is where you actually decide what you're trying to do. Are you trying to lose fat? Are you trying to build muscle? Or just get healthier and more consistent? Each of these goals requires a different approach, and that's why this step matters so much. If your goal isn't clear, everything that follows is going to become guesswork, and this step guides everything else. When the goal is clear, the plan becomes obvious. When it's not, people spin their wheels and think personal training doesn't work. Step 3 is your nutrition setup. This is where I actually outperformed most of my coworkers when I was a personal trainer. Most trainers would give you generic advice, like just eat fewer calories, hit your protein, just be consistent. Technically correct, practically useless. What I did instead was make nutrition real. I sit down with my clients at my desk and literally go grocery shopping together, like digitally. I'd ask them, where do you shop? What do you normally buy? What's convenient for your schedule? And then we build a plan around that. If they had kids, we picked foods that they could all eat. If they ate fast food, we mapped out what to order. If they were busy, we chose quick options. Yes, calories and macros matter, but what actually gets results is clarity. When I did this, people finally understood, what do I eat on a normal day? What do I grab when I'm busy? What do I order when I'm out? And that alone gave a lot of clients quick wins before training even started. Step 4, technique before intensity. A lot of people are scared of the gym for 2 simple reasons. They're afraid of looking stupid and getting hurt. And lifting is a skill, and most people avoid things that they feel bad at. So once nutrition and goals were handled, the next priority was technique, not getting people exhausted. So early sessions weren't killer workouts, they were workshops. We'd cover 2 or 3 movements at a time, and that's it, just enough reps to learn and enough coaching to feel confident. I've taught moms, dads, and grandmas how to squat properly with this approach because there's no rushing, no ego, no trying to prove anything, because when someone understands how to move, they stop being scared to train harder later. So good technique doesn't just prevent injuries, it gives people permission to actually push themselves. Step 5, a written workout plan. Now you'd be surprised how many trainers do not do this. They don't give you a real workout plan. The workout either lives in their head, their folder, or they just freestyle with you every session. And that's a problem. What I did instead was simple. First, I taught people the exercises, then I wrote the plan down, and then I gave it to the client. Nothing fancy. I just had clients put their workouts straight into their notes app. Their exercise, their weight, their reps. When the weight went up, they just deleted the old numbers and then typed in the new one. The grandma could do it, the college kid could do it, because everyone already has a tool on their phone. And that's why this matters. Now the client had a plan they could run without me. They could train on their own days. They could practice getting better, and they could see progress happening in real time. So a real workout plan doesn't make training harder. It makes people independent. And that's the difference between working out and actually getting better. Step number 6, progression logic. A workout plan by itself doesn't do anything. If you're doing the same weights, the same reps, and the same effort every time you come in, your body has no reason to change. And that's why progression matters. Progression logic is just teaching people how to move forward safely. What I did was give clients clear boundaries. I just tell them, here's your rep range. When you hit the top end of the rep range, just go up and weight. If you hit under the bottom end, then it's too heavy, just drop the weight. So every session, the goal was simple. Challenge yourself a little bit more than last time. And this is something that actually surprised a lot of people, because clients who didn't think they were strong were lifting way more than they thought was possible within a few weeks. And just simply having more strength would have people puffing their chest out and standing tall, because now they had more confidence. And when people have more confidence, they have more buy-in. So progression does more than just change the body. It teaches people that they're capable of hard things. And that belief is what keeps them showing up. And finally, the last step. Your trainer should create independence. Because if you reach the end of your contract and you haven't seen noticeable progress, whether that's fat loss, strength gains, or even just understanding what you're doing, something's off. Now, to be fair, that's not always 100% on the trainer. Some people do get in their own way. I mean, life happens, consistency breaks, that's real. But what is a red flag is dependency. If the entire model is built around, you have to keep paying me or all of this falls apart, then that's not coaching, that is a leash. I was always upfront with clients about this. I would tell them from the start, I want to teach you how to fish. The goal for me was education, understanding why things work, knowing how to train, eat, and adjust on your own. And a lot of my clients actually reached their original goal. The only reason many of them stayed was because we chose to pursue new goals. A lot of them actually decided to start powerlifting, but they stayed by choice, not by confusion. The best personal trainers don't create dependence, they create capable people. And if a trainer isn't trying to make themselves unnecessary over time, that's not a coaching relationship, that's a subscription. But in the end, you actually don't even need a personal trainer. You just need to know what you're doing. So if you want to lose fat fast without paying for a coach, you can watch this video right here.